In the previous video, I talked about how to make a plastic ceiling. And in this video, I will talk about how to install interior doors. Currently, in our kitchen today, we have an opening, 7 wide, out of which 70 cm is for the door panel, 10 cm needs to be covered with a frame. Our frame is wooden, disassembled. 2 DF panels. There is glass in it. We need to try to carefully install them without breaking the glass. Experienced installers in Berlin use routers and other specific tools for these purposes, but we don't have them. Therefore, we will try to manage with chisels, a jigsaw that we have available, and a screwdriver, and then the available materials at hand. To begin with, it is necessary to assemble the boat. For this, we take it and place it on the floor. The 2 parts of the boat, so that the part where the door fits is on top. We take a pencil and with its help, we make marks on the upper part of the boat for alignment. This shows the location of the cut that needs to be made in the door frame part. This is how it will be. Now, with the help of a fine-toothed saw and a sharp chisel, we will carve out this groove. We will do the same on the other side of the door. The cut is made to the thickness of the door frame. Now, it is necessary to take a chisel and a small hammer, and here, to chip away, cut this part, but with the chisel. Here, there should be an absolutely even cut, and it will continue the main part of the door frame. Therefore, including the marks, you can express the main part that we haven't completely removed. Now we attach the right part of the frame to the top part and take a measurement, cutting the top part of the boat. In our case, the width of the door is 70 centimeters. We leave 3 millimeters on each side. So, the total should be 76 centimeters. Now we place the top part of the boat to the right side and mark the measurement. Using a square, we transfer this measurement of the cut to the back part. And we draw a straight line. This angle must be exactly 90 degrees. We saw it off. The same groove as on the right side. Let's continue. Now we measure the total length of the boat that will be needed for the doors. The door should be 1 or 1.5 centimeters higher than the floor level. It is necessary to consider that there, if there is a glaze, it is 5 or 2 millimeters. For me, it equals. We make a reserve point and cut with a jigsaw. Around in an arc. Now the boat is ready for assembly. During the assembly of the boat, it is necessary to install hinges. Door hinges. I use door hinges of the butterfly type. This is very convenient because there is no need at the door to cut a recess.
in the MDF because there's just a paper layer there which you can easily damage without a router. It doesn't turn out very neatly with just a chisel. This is kind. Hinge part we have here. The narrow part is screwed onto the door, the wide part onto the boat. Now it's necessary to mark on the boat and screw it in. Make a groove and attach the hinges. There should be 20 centimeters from the top and bottom of the door to the hinge equally. Therefore, based on this, we will measure 20 centimeters and 3 millimeters from the top of the boat, because there will be a 3 millimeter gap here. You place the hinge and we make the markings. Now we need to take a note, a small hammer, and start carving out the groove to a thickness of 1.5 millimeters. The groove is ready, we measure. The hinge, it should fit exactly along the plane of contact. Everything is ready. Now we proceed to do the same for the groove. Groove for the second hinge. And we can immediately drill a hole for screwing in the future screws. Let's continue. Using a thin drill bit, we secure the frame hinges. And for this we fasten them with screws that come in the set to the hinges. Now we assemble the frame. For this, using the same millimeter drill bit, we drill through the upper part of the frame, a hole all the way through, so that it goes precisely through the center of the frame, both the first and the second. Then, in the strip of the hole, we screw in a 65 millimeter wood screw. Now let's proceed to cutting the tray. From the top part, we measure 1 meter precisely at the center of the door. There is a small marking here, which will need to be soaked with water and removed later. Find the center of the door. We have 34 mm, and the center of the door is 17 mm. And strictly in the center, we will start drilling a hole using a special drill bit with a diameter of 22 mm. Here is the hole, ready. Now we can insert the lock. It is necessary to insert the lock into the groove and make a chamfer. We outline it with a pencil. After this, using a chisel, we select the chamfer thickness to about 1.5 millimeters as on the lock. Here, the chamfer is completely ready. This is how the lock is recessed to the level of the door. Now it is necessary to make a hole for the square spindle. For this we apply our lock to the door and make a marking for the square spindle on one side and the other side. The first hole for you for securing the lock. Here, the diameter is about 3.5 millimeters for the main screw. You need to take the shorter ones because the longer ones included in the set are for the strike plate. The lock is secured. It is necessary to install the handles. Here, there is also a hole for screws. So we drill in the end part of the facade the same way. We attach the handle. For this, a 2mm drill bit. Let's follow. And we screw it into place. Screw. And the same all around. Now I will attach the decorative cover, which is screwed here onto the handle. Here, the handle is installed with a lock. Now it is necessary to do the same on the other side by inserting the square rod which will move the lock. When the door is assembled, it is necessary to proceed with its installation on the boat. But first, it needs to be installed on the boat and in the assembled state now with the help of wedges, wooden of all possible sizes, and a construction level it is necessary to achieve. Precision, vertical, alignment in both planes. For this we first position one post, level, securing it with wedges to the wall. And you do the same on the other side. Here it is necessary to secure it in places where the screws will not be visible. This is where the trim board will be. And on the right side where the hinges will be, under the hinges we will use 2 long screws. Let's work. At the top and side it's problematic, but since the old door was positioned more to the right, and here there was a large gap, we leave it as is, because there's just a cabinet here, and it will be difficult to open. The door will hit it. After we installed the frame and secured it, now we need to hang the doors. For this on the doors, we make markings. You can attach the butterfly hinge. Once the markings are made, we attach this butterfly hinge to the frame and see what we have achieved. We mark the location of the hinges on the doors and clearly indicate places for drilling holes. We drill with the same 2mm drill bit. And attach to the door. I don't drill the 2 inner holes because when the door is hung, it might be necessary for additional adjustment. Tighten with the help of a screwdriver, but with a little effort. Loosen. Don't get discouraged and adjust by lifting the door. Well, the door is installed.
Checked. Perfectly. Everything fits well and is of high quality. The only problem I had was a large gap between the boat and the wall. I made a small wooden structure to save on foam sealant because it's expensive now. That is, the foam will go on the side of the wall and the side of the door. And these wooden blocks will be completely enclosed in their space, so nothing will happen to them. Now we take the injector and thoroughly inject the foam along the entire perimeter. After that, we take the antenna foam, shake it well, and start applying a thin layer around the entire perimeter. After this, I will insert it between the door and the boat. On the other side, a piece of foil, 3 millimeters thick, and leave it for a day to expand.